Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashita Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Srila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashita Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashita Rashita Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashita Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashita Rashita Shishmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंग देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री जय श्री वराह द्वादशी तिथि की जय श्री वराहदेव की जय श्री कुलदेव की जय जय श्री तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय द गौड़ीय भाष्य श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय द आदिवास तिथि of नित्यानंद त्रयोदशी की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranam Satyamataji and Krishna Mai Didi. Hari Bol. And let's see. Oh, I didn't turn on YouTube and Facebook. Let's see who's there. Anyways, I'm going to start the Mangala Charan and then I'll talk after that. Sorry, I forgot to open up YouTube. So anyways, I see there Vrinda Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, and a couple others. Dandavat Pranams. All right, let's start the Mangala Charan. On Haribo Bhavatarani Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu. Okay. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Oh, 1 second. Let me just show everybody here. Continue. Bhavatarani Mataji is giving darshan of Varāhadeva. Haribol. Thank you. Jai ho. Jai Varāhadeva ki jai. Beautiful. All right, going to continue on with Mangala Charan. Thank you so much. All right. 1 second, just spotlighting myself again. Okay. Hey. There. Okay. Ajanulambita bhujao kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya taksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha Jai 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 Vishwambhara Dvijaraj Jai Vishwambhara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaurachandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadhir Jai Sankirtana Moy Sundar Sharir Jai Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jai Gadādhar Advaiter Prema Dham Jai Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishoy Jai Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hriday Jai Jai Srivasari Priya Varganath Jiva Pratikoro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa kathā jeno amriter khanda Je katha shunile ghuche antar pashanda Madhya-khaṇḍa kathā bhai shuno ekachitte Sankirtana arambha hoilo jeno mate Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina Iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshaya Kshiptastakama ditaranga mathe Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya Mangal Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Vishaka Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal Jahar Shavane Nashe Sarva Amangal Chaitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima Jate jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar Likhiachen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar Chaitanya Mangal Shune Jadi Pashande Javan Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakon Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Caitanya Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sangsar Narayani Chaitanyer Uchishta Bhajan Tar Garbe Janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavan तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरितवनान जहाँ रसवने शुद्ध कोइल त्रिभुवन सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai, jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everybody. So we have just a little bit. We have just a little bit to left on this chapter about the departure of Srivas Thakur's son. think about 2,000 words. And then for the rest of the session, we will read different things about Varāhadeva. I found from Navadvīpa-dhāma Māhātmya. There's a class by Śrīla Bhakti Bhāratī Gosvāmī from the Vajramana Parikrama book. And we'll see what's on purebhakti.com. We'll just see how much time we have. All right, so. Suval? Tomorrow mobile. Okay, so the discourse on spiritual knowledge by Śrīvasa's dead son. This chapter describes the Lord's manifestation of opulence in the chanting of his holy names. The maidservant Duki's service of bringing water from the Ganga to the Lord, the changing of Duki's name to Sukhi, the departure of Śrīvasa's son from his body, the Lord's mitigation of Śrīvasa's entire family's lamentation by inducing the dead son to speak on spiritual subjects, and the Lord's entrusting Gadādhara with the responsibility of worshipping the deity, Vishnu Puja, Vishnu Titi. Hare Krishna Shubhananda Prabhu. Oh yeah, and let's see. What else is it? Oh, Hari Bol Kishore Prabhu. Jai Śrīvāsa, Jai Varāhadeva. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read I'll read the summary the day after Nityananda Trayodashi so that we can get the flow of everything. And actually, no, I'll just read it now. Sorry. Okay. So Sriman Mahaprabhu would always remain absorbed in pastimes of Sankirtan at the house of Srivas and would manifest his own opulence. When he would regain his external consciousness, he would go with his associates to take bath in the Ganga. Sometimes the devotees would give the Lord bath in Srivasa's courtyard. When the Lord would dance in ecstasy, the maidservant Duki would watch the Lord dance with tears in her eyes. She would fill some pitchers with Ganga water and keep them in a row within the house. On seeing this, Sriman Mahaprabhu was pleased. After asking Srivas who had brought the water, the Lord revealed that anyone who was fortunate enough to do such service could not be called Duki, and then he changed her name to Sukhi. Duki means sad, Sukhi means happy. One day, when the Lord was absorbed in enjoying kirtan pastimes in Srivasa's courtyard, the son of Srivas left his body. When Srivas heard the sudden crying of the ladies, he quickly entered the house and instructed everyone to stop their mundane behavior for some time so that the Lord's feelings of ecstatic love while dancing would not be disturbed. Otherwise, he threatens to end his life by jumping into the waters of the Ganga. Srivas then, this is Narad Rishi speaking, remember, he's like the embodiment of renunciation, and he induced so many, countless other peoples to also become renounced. There's many stories of that. So, Srivas then jubilantly rejoins the Lord's kirtan. On the pretext of not feeling ecstasy in his heart, the Lord, who is a super soul in the hearts of all living entities, asked if any calamity had occurred in the house of Srivas. The devotees then informs the Lord of everything that had happened. On seeing Srivasa's display of love for him, the Lord began to cry. How will I ever be able to leave such devotees? Thereafter, the Lord asked the dead boy why he had left the house of Srivas. And the dead child replied that he had lived as long as he was destined to live in that body and was now going elsewhere. He further said that everyone enjoys the fruits of their respective activities and that relationships with persons like father, mother, and children are all useless. Haribo Champak Mataji. After hearing those spiritual topics from the mouth of the dead child, the lamentation of Śrīvasa's entire family was vanquished. They all fell at the Lord's feet and began to humbly offer various prayers. The Lord then began to perform kirtan in ecstasy. Thereafter, Sriman Mahaprabhu explained to Srivas about the ways of family life and agreed that he and his brother would remain in Srivasa's house as his sons. Sri Gaurasundar would arrange to worship Vishnu according to the Pancharatric system. But since he was intoxicated with ecstatic love and unable to execute the activities of worship, he gave the responsibility of worshiping the deity to Śrī Gadādhara Pandit. Okay, so those are all the topics in this chapter. And since we don't have that much to read, I'm going to just read the verses. Yeah, I'll read the verses all the way up to verse 50. All glories to Gaurachandra, the Lord of the universes. All glories to the Lord of the Brahmanas, the Vedas, the eternal religious principles, and the sannyasis. One second. I'm going to do this so that I could jump from verse to verse. All glories to the jewel-like ocean of mercy who appeared from the womb of Shachi. All glories to Nityananda, and all glories to Vishwambar. All glories to Lord Gauranga along with his associates. By hearing topics of Śrī Caitanya, one attains devotional service. The topics of the Madhya-khaṇḍa, which describe how the life and soul of everyone performed his pastimes in Navadvīpa, are like a reservoir of devotional mellows. Bhakti Rasir Nitan. The Lord constantly displayed his opulences as he continuously engaged in congregational glorification of Hari. Hari Sankirtan. Mahāprabhu roared and laughed loudly as he danced in the ecstasy of chanting his own names. The Lord continually rolled on the ground in the mellows of ecstatic love. His body, which is worshipped by Brahma, become covered with dust. The fortunate devotees saw to the full satisfaction of their eyes that there was no end to the Lord's absorption in ecstasy. When the Lord regained external consciousness, he would sit down with the devotees. Some days he would go sport in the water of the Ganga. Some days the Lord would sit in the courtyard after dancing, and all the devotees would bathe him there inside the house. While the Lord was dancing in ecstasy, the pious Dukhi would bring water. Sometimes tears would come to her eyes as she watched the Lord dance. Then she would go again and again to bring water from the Ganga. Again and again, she'd bring more and more water from the Ganga. She kept the water pots in rows on all sides. On seeing this, Sri Shachinandan became greatly pleased. The Lord asked Srivas, "Who brings water every day from the Ganga?" Srivas replied, "O Lord, Dukhi brings the water." The Lord then said, "You should all call her Sukhi. The name Dukhi is not appropriate for her. I think she is always Sukhi." The name Dukhi, sadness, is not appropriate for her. I think she is always Sukhi, happy. On hearing such compassionate words from the Lord's mouth, the devotees all began to cry in the happiness of ecstatic love. Sorry. By the order of the Lord, everyone called her Sukhi, and from then on, Srivas did not treat her as a maidservant. Satyamataji is making the point, that's a lot of work to bring so many pots of water from the Ganga. Yeah, water, right? It said is water pots on all sides of the house. Yes. She probably carried it like by walking the whole way, yeah. One attains Krishna simply by serving him with love. But one cannot escape the punishment of Yamaraj simply by shaving one's head. There's beautiful quotes by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada on this topic. Let me just wait 1 second. Let me see if I can find it in my notes app. If I can find it in 1 second, I'll read it. Otherwise, revolution. Okay, I think I found it. No, never mind, didn't find it. Okay, let's continue on. Sorry. Okay. So one attains Krishna simply by serving him with love, but one cannot escape the punishment of Yamaraj simply by shaving one's head. Anyways, the quote I was going to read is it's by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. No, is my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Keshav Goswami Maharaj. He gives an example of how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's right-hand man, Sundarananda Vidya Vinod, he doesn't give his name, he just says, who was one of his main writers and who helped, through his writing, he helped bring a revolution in the world. Like he was such an essential servant of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, helping him in like the most important ways of, spreading the message, doing all the writing and everything. And when due to a weakness of heart, he left the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and went to Dhaka, then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he wasn't even in the least bit perturbed. But when one of his disciples, whose name was Panchanana, who was illiterate, he couldn't even read, when he would leave Srila Prabhupada for even a moment, then Srila Prabhupada would go, "Where's Panchanana?" And he'd become concerned. So Param Gurudev, he writes, this seems quite, he writes in English, these two words, quite startling and perplexing, I think he writes. But in fact, it's not, even slightly. And he said, unlimitedly greater is a service done, unlimitedly greater than the service of someone who brought a revolution in the world through his writings and who served in that way, Srila Prabhupada. Unlimitedly greater than that is a simple, heartfelt service of an illiterate devotee's, his offering. Simple service. And the quote goes on, but yeah, it's a really beautiful point. But that same point's being made here. Right? One attains Krishna simply by serving him with love. One cannot escape punishment, the punishment of Yamaraj, simply by shaving one's head, simply by becoming a renunciate, a sannyasi, or no, much superior to that is simple service done with love. Good birth, beauty, wealth, and education are useless. Krishna is pleased if one worships him with love. Prem yogi bhajile, Shri Krishna tushta hoy. All the teachings of the Vedas and the Srimad Bhagavatam were directly exhibited by Sri Gaurasundar. Despite being a maidservant, Dukhi received mercy that can never be seen by those who are falsely proud. I am unable to describe the glories of Śrīvasa's good fortune. There is no end to the good fortune of even his servants and maidservants. One day, as the Lord was dancing in the house of Srivas, the devotees, headed by Srivas, happily engaged in Sankirtan. By the arrangement of providence, the ladies watched the son of Srivas leave his body because of some disease. As Sri Shachinandan was dancing in ecstasy, the sound of crying filled the house of Srivas. Srivas Pandit therefore immediately went inside the room and found that his son had left his body. Being most sober and conversant with the intricacies of spiritual science, Srivas began to solace the ladies. He said, "You all know the glories of Krishna. Control your crying and pacify your minds. A person who even once hears the name of Krishna at the time of death attains the abode of Krishna, even if he is most sinful. The Lord is now personally dancing here, and his servants headed by Brahma are glorifying his qualities. Is it proper to lament for a person who leaves his body at such a time? If I can ever become as fortunate as this child, I will consider my life successful." And then yesterday, for most of the reading, we went through these 13 songs by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur called the Shoko Shatanam, where he describes this whole Leela in detail. This is from the Gita Mala. And then Srivas said, "If you cannot check these familial emotions, then at least cry to your satisfaction later. Don't let anyone else hear about this incident. Otherwise, the Lord's happiness from dancing will be disturbed. If by hearing your commotion, the Lord regains his external consciousness, then I will certainly drown myself today in the Ganga." After hearing Srivasa's words, the ladies became pacified. Well, it doesn't say pacified. They composed themselves. They weren't pacified though. Then Srivas then returned to the Lord's Sankirtan. As well, I mean, maybe they were pacified, but I think it just means that they composed themselves. As Srivas participated with great ecstasy in the Sankirtan, his exceptional happiness repeatedly increased. Such are the glories of Srivas Pandit, who is the most qualified among Lord Chaitanya's associates. Gaurachandra danced in his own ecstatic mood. After some time, he and the devotees stopped the kirtan. Gradually, word spread among the devotees that Srivas Pandit's son had departed for Vaikuntha. Still, no one disclosed this news to the Lord. They all kept their feelings of distress in their hearts. Haribol Vidyalala Sadidi. Shri Gaurasundar, the crest jewel of omniscient persons, placed a question before everyone present there. The Lord said, I can't explain how I feel today. Has some distress entered the house of Srivas? Srivas Pandit replied, O Lord, what distress could I have when your pleasing lotus face is present in my house? Eventually, the devotees informed the Lord what had happened to Srivas Pandit's son. The Lord gravely asked, How long ago did this happen? He was then informed that the incident occurred early in the evening. The devotee said, fearing that your ecstasy would be disturbed, Srinivas did not inform anyone about this. It is nearly 7.5 hours since the child left his body. Now please give us permission to perform the last rites. On hearing about Srivasa's wonderful activities, the Lord remembered Govinda. The Lord said, how will I give up such association? Speaking these words, Mahāprabhu began to cry. How will I give up the association of one who did not lament for his son out of love for me? After speaking in this way, Mahāprabhu cried profusely. The devotees became thoughtful on hearing him speak of renunciation. The devotees discussed among themselves, but they could not understand when such a calamity would occur. Oops, no, we read up to this point here, sorry. Okay, so after speaking in this way, Mahaprabhu cried profusely. The devotees, oh, we're starting with that. No, we read that yesterday. The devotees became thoughtful on hearing him speak of renunciation. Okay. Nahi jani ki param. Sorry. What's the melody again? Nahi jani ki paramad poroye kokon. Anyone chintaye shakal bhaktagan. The devotees discussed among themselves, but they could not understand when such a calamity would occur. Gari hasta chariya prabhu koribe sanyas. Tave dwani kori kande chariya nishwas. They concluded that the Lord sighed deeply and cried loudly because he would eventually leave household life and accept sannyas. So it wasn't just it wasn't the Shachi Mata who was fearing Mahaprabhu taking sannyas, but all the devotees, especially after hearing him say this. When he's saying, how will I give up the association of one who did not lament for his son out of love for me? And I'd translate this not as thoughtful, but they started to think, wonder. And so they started to, chinta could also mean worry. Chinta. Okay. স্থির হইলেন যদি ঠাকুর দেখিয়া সৎকার করিতে শিশু যায়েন লইয়া. When the Lord became somewhat pacified on seeing the child, he prepared to take the child for performing its last rites. Mrita Shishu Prati Prabhu bolen vachan, Śrīvāser ghar chhadi jao ki karan. The Lord then asked the dead child, Why are you leaving Srivasa's house? Shishu bole Prabhu jeno nirbandha tomar, anyatha karo ye shakti achaye kahar. Then the child, the soul speaking within the dead child's body, child replied, O Lord, this is a destiny arranged by you. Who has the power to change it? Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. It is most reasonable to accept the way in which the Lord controls one. Otherwise, what can one gain by whimsically displaying one's independent will and disregarding the fate ordained by the Lord? Besides, no one has the ability to act against the will of the Supreme Lord. Mritta Shishu Uttar Koroye Prabhu Sane, Parama Arbhuta Shune Sarva Bhakta Gane. All the devotees were struck with wonder to hear the dead child reply to the Lord's question. Shishu boli e dehete jatika divas, nirbandha achilo bhunji laya sheiras. The child said, I stayed and enjoyed as long as I was destined to live in this body. Nirbandha guchilo a rahite na pari, ebe choli laya anya nirbandhita puri. That destined time is now completed, so I cannot remain longer. Now I'm going to another predestined body. Gaudiya Bhashya. I cannot stay longer than I was destined by the will of the Lord to live as a son of Srivas. Therefore, I will certainly accept a body that is suitable for the place I am destined to go. Through the child's mouth, Śrī Gaurasundar revealed to the people of the world the philosophy of reincarnation. The gross and subtle bodies are not eternal. The spirit soul accepts these gross and subtle bodies as coverings, and when required, is later forced to give them up. The living entity's acceptance of gross and subtle bodies and his wandering on the gross and subtle platforms result from the influence of identifying himself as the doer and the activities he performs. Wait, I think it's supposed to say the doer of the activities he performs. Yeah. The spirit soul never wanders on the platforms of karma and gyan. The two bodies of sense enjoyment and liberation, the two abodes of sense enjoyment and liberation are never suitable dwelling places for the existence of the spirit soul. Everyone does not have the good fortune of attaining the association of Śrī Gaurasundar and his associates. Therefore, thirst for sense gratification or liberation and aversion to the service of the Supreme Lord are found within human nature. So he continued. E deher nirbandha gelo rahite na pari, eno kripa koro jeno toma na pasari. My destined time in this body is finished, so I cannot stay. Be merciful so that I may not forget you. Be merciful so that I may not forget you. Ke kahar bap Prabhu, ke kar nandan, shabe apanar karma koro ye bhunjan. O Lord, who is anyone's father, and who is anyone's son? Everyone enjoys the fruits of his own karma. Jotodin bhagya chilo Śrīvaser ghare, achilaya ebe chalilam anyapure. As long as I had the good fortune, I lived at the house of Srivas. Now I am going to the house of someone else. Saparshare tomar charane namaskar, aparada naloi ho vidhai amar. I offer my obeisances at the feet of you and your associates. Please do not consider my offenses. I am leaving now. Eto boli nirabo hoila shishukai, emata kotuka koreshi gorangarai. After speaking in this way, the child's body became silent. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Lord Gauranga. Kishore is making the point. He said that when Hiranyaksha was killed, Hiranyakashipu also spoke about renunciation. Yes. Okay, so after speaking this way, the child's body became silent. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Lord Gauranga. Mritya putra mukhe shune apurva kathan. Ananda sagare bhashe sarva bhakta gan. After hearing those extraordinary topics from the mouth of the dead child, the devotees all floated in an ocean of bliss. Ananda sagare bhashe. Oh, Haribol Satyamataji. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I was looking at old. Sorry, I'm gonna. Okay, so after hearing those extraordinary topics from the mouth of the dead child, the devotees all floated in an ocean of bliss. Putra shoka dukha gelo Śrīvāsa goshtir Krishna premananda sukhe hoila astir. Srivasa's family members forgot their lamentation and distress for their child and became agitated in ecstatic love for Krishna. Krishna premananda sukhe hoila astir. Krishna preme Srinivas goshtir sahite Prabhur charana dhori lagila kandite. In their ecstatic love, Srivas and his family members caught hold of the Lord's feet and began to cry. Janma janma tumi pita mata putra prabhu tomar charana jeno na pashari kabhu. Birth after birth, you are our father, our mother, our son and master. May we never forget your lotus feet. This is like in the song Manasa Deho Geho. How does it go? Nice. Je khane shekhane prabhu kene janma nahe tomar charane jeno prema bhakti rahe. Oh Lord, it does not matter where we take birth, but may we always have loving devotion for your lotus feet. Chari bhai prabhur charane kaku kore chaturdige bhaktagan kande ucha ishware. As the four brothers offered humble words at the Lord's feet, the devotees in the four directions began to cry loudly. Krishna preme chaturdige utilo krandan, Krishna prema moy hoilo Śrīvāsa bhavan. The sound of crying and ecstatic love for Krishna arose in the four directions as the entire house of Srivas became filled with love of Krishna. Krishna preme chaturdige utilo krandan, Krishna prem moy hoilo Śrīvāsa bhavan. Prabhu bole shuno shuno Śrīvāsa pandita, tumi to shakal jano Samsarer Rita. The Lord said, listen, Srivas Pandit, you know well the nature of material existence. Eshab sangsar dhuka tomar ki dai, je tomare dekhe sheho kabu nahi pai. Ami nityananda dui nandana tomar, chitte tumi vyatha kichu na bhavi ho ar. The miseries of material existence do not affect you. Even one who sees you is not affected by such miseries. Nityananda and I are your two sons, so you should no longer feel any grief in your heart. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Gaurasundar said to Srivas Pandit, the devotees of the Supreme Lord never have any connection with the material world. In the vision of ignorant people, Srivas Pandit was a householder and a materialist. But the devotees of the Lord never even mistakenly considered that Srivas Pandit was such an inauspicious character. Those who are accustomed to see the devotees of the Supreme Lord who have no bondage to material existence. Those who are accustomed to see the devotees of the Lord have no bondage to material existence. If one accepts the Supreme Lord as one's husband, wife, or son to fill the absence of any such most basic relationship, then one attains direct association with that eternal personality. Wow, that's really nice. one accepts the Supreme Lord as one's husband, wife, or son to fill the absence of any such most basic relationship, then one attains direct association with that eternal personality. Simply by seeing the Lord's relationship with all objects, a living entity becomes liberated from the conditioned state. Very neat point, huh? Save that one. Śrī Mukher Parama Karunya Bhakya Shuni Chaturdige Bhaktagan Kore Jai Dvani. Śrī Mukher Parama Karunya Bhakya Shuni Chaturdige Bhaktagan Kore Jai Dvani. On hearing these most compassionate words from the lotus mouth of the Lord, the devotees in the four directions chanted, Jai, Jai. Sarvagana Saha Prabhu Balaka Loiya Cholilen Ganga Tire Kirtana Koriya. The Lord and his associates then performed kirtan as they took the child to the bank of the Ganga. Jato Chitta Kriya Kori Koila Ganga Snan Krishna Boli Shabe Grihe Korila Payan. After performing the appropriate rituals and taking bath in the Ganga, they returned home while chanting the names of Krishna. Prabhu Bhaktagana Shabe Gela Nija Ghar Srivaser Goshti Sab Hoila Vival. The Lord and the devotees returned to their respective homes, and Srivasa's family became overwhelmed. Eshabni Gura Katha Je Kore Shravan Avasya Milibotare Krishna Premadhan. One who hears these confidential topics will certainly attain the wealth of ecstatic love for Krishna. Shrivaser Charane Rahuk Namaskar Gaura Chandra Nityananda Nandana Jahan. I offer my obeisances at the feet of Srivas, whose sons were Gaurachandra and Nityananda. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shri Gaur and Nityananda accepted Srivasa's service as his sons. Eshab arbhuta she Navadvīpe hoy, bhakter pratita hoy, abhakter noy. These wonderful pastimes took place in Navadvip. The devotees accept them, but the non-devotees do not. Madhya-khaṇḍa parama Madhya-khaṇḍa parama apurva sab kathā mrita shishu tattva gyan kohilena jata. The topics of the Madhya-khaṇḍa are most extraordinary. For a dead child's narration on spiritual topics is included among them. Henamate Navadvipe Shri Gora Sundar Biharaye Sankirtana Sukhe Nirantar. In this way, Shri Gaurasundar continually enjoyed the happiness of Sankirtan in Navadvip. Prema rase prabhur sangsara nahi spure, anyer ki dae Vishnu pujite na pare. The Lord relished the mellows of ecstatic love and had no interest in family affairs. What to speak of other duties, he could not even worship Lord Vishnu. Couldn't do any Vishnu puja. Snana kori vashe prabhu Shri Vishnu pujite, prem jale shakal Shri anga vastratite. When he sat down to worship Lord Vishnu after taking bath, his clothing and entire body became soaked with tears of ecstatic love. Bahir hoya prabhu she vastra chariya, puna anya vastra pori Vishnu puje giya. So since his cloth became wet with tears, he would then go out, change his cloth, and return to worship Vishnu. Puna premananda jale tite shevasan, puna bahirai anga kore prakhalan. Then his cloth would again become soaked with tears of love, and he would again go out and clean himself. E mata vastra pari varta kore matra, preme Vishnu pujite na pare tilo matra. In this way, he would continue to change his clothes, and because of ecstatic love, he was unable to offer any worship to Vishnu. Sheshe Gadādhara prati bolilen vakya, tumi Vishnu puja mor nahi ko she bhagya. Eventually, he told Gadādhara, "You worship Vishnu. I am not fortunate enough." Gaudiya Bhashya. Whenever Sri Gaurasundar tried to worship Lord Vishnu according to the Pancharatric process, he failed every time to show proficiency in the process of archana because he was intoxicated by ecstatic love. Being repeatedly unsuccessful in worshiping the deity, he eventually entrusted the responsibility of worshiping the deity of Krishna to Gadādhara Pandit. He said, "I am unfortunate. I am unable to worship with proper etiquette." After Sri Gaurasundar awarded the service of Sri Gopinath to Sri Gadādhara Pandit in this pastime, Sri Gadādhara Pandit continued to worship Sri Gopinath in the forest of Toto Gopinath and Sri Purushottam Kshetra, and accepted disciples according to regulative principles. As a result of worshiping the deity of the Lord for hundreds of lifetimes, a living entity develops love for chanting the holy names of the Lord. But one should not consider Sri Gadādhara as such an ordinary living entity forced to accept the fruits of his karma. Rather, one should accept him as most dear to Mahāprabhu. The instruction for chanting the holy names of the Lord, which is the ultimate fruit of deity worship, is given in Sri Gaurasundar's Shikshashtak. E mata vaikunta nayaka bhakti rase, viharaye navadvipe ratriye divase. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha was absorbed in the mellows of devotional service as he day and night enjoyed pastimes in Navadvip. E mata Vaikuntha nayak bhakti rase, viharaye navadvipe ratriye divase. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jan, Vrindavana Dasata Chupada Jugegan. Accepting Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary on Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 25, entitled The Discourse on Spiritual Knowledge by Srivasa's Dead Son. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Jai Srivas Thakur Ki Jai, Srivasa's Mritya Putra Ki Jai, Srivasa's dead son Ki Jai, Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Jai Gadādhara Pandit Ki Jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. All right, so that is our reading from Caitanya-bhāgavata for today. And now we will move on to the glories of Varāhadeva. Yeah, so I thought we could read this from Navadvīpa-dhāma Māhātmya. One second. Oh yeah, and well, just before I start, Haribo Rukmini Didi. I just want to see what's left in our Caitanya-bhāgavata readings. I sent out a post yesterday on Vine of Devotion about our Caitanya-bhāgavata readings, the details, and our future plans for all the readings. We're going to finish we only have 3 chapters left. Look. So the next chapter is descriptions of the mercy bestowed on Shuklambar and Vijay and the Lord's desire to accept sannyas. Then the Lord pacifies. What does that mean? The Lord pacifies feelings of separation. Okay. And then the Lord's pastime of accepting sannyas. Wow. So the rest of this chapter is the rest of our reading is going to be all about the Mahaprabhu's sannyas. And then we'll finish on the 26th, the day before Srila Bhakti-Brigada Keshav Goswami Maharaj's Vyas Puja day. We'll conclude our reading of the Madhya-khaṇḍa. And then we'll have a little pause to read about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. We'll have some readings about, And then we will continue reading from Caitanya-bhāgavata. We'll begin the Antya-khaṇḍa. And we began our readings on the appearance day of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. We began our Caitanya-bhāgavata reading. And so I'm organizing it all. I'm trying to make it so that we will have our last reading. We'll conclude the entire Caitanya-bhāgavata on Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's disappearance day. So we begin on his appearance day and we conclude on his disappearance day. I think that would be really nice. And then after that, I'll start a whole program. 5 days after that, on the appearance day of Gadādhara Pandit, we'll start a program to go through all the songs of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And I don't know, like when we get closer to that time, I think that's like in a couple months from now, it's May 6th, I think is Gadādhara Pandit's appearance day. So when we get closer to that time, I want to get feedback from everybody. Would you like this? Would you like this Bhakti Vinod Thakur program? Would you also like it to be kind of like a grammar class, like where you can start, not grammar class, that sounds terrible, like a Bengali class, like where you can start to understand the language? And because I think that would be, yeah. And I could do it in a really easy way, so it's not like you have a lot of work to do. And yeah, we can go through, because that's how I mean, I'm not a total expert on Bengali, but that's how I started with learning Bengali, was going through kirtans. There's a devotee named Sham Prabhu from England, and and he taught us the grammar in the songs, simple things like, see that iya, that means this, and see this thing that you keep on seeing all the time, that means this. And just learning little things like that as we were singing songs, then I started to understand the kirtans so much better. And then they became so much more exciting because I actually knew what I was saying. And I would see like, oh yeah, I know what that means. It's so exciting when you start to like something that you've been singing all the time and you start to actually understand it in a like more fully like that. And it just increases. The more you learn, the more exciting it gets, because you start to, everything becomes more accessible. And so I was thinking of going through, and then it'd be so nice to have like spent some time with every single song that Bhaktivinoda Thakur ever wrote. There's such a wide variety of songs, and we've only, what's in our songbooks, just like a little taste of what he wrote. But so anyways, that's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And so anyhow, okay, let's read about Varāhadeva. Oh, cool. Satyamataji does that with Sanskrit grammar for friends too. Nice. Very nice. Yes, great. I'm glad Vidyalalasi likes Vidyalalasa Didi Kishore Prabhu. All right. Haribol Rukmini Didi. Okay, so now we are reading from Śrī Caitanya, no, what is it? Navadvīpa-dhāma Māhātmya by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So remember, this is Jiva Goswami, Nityananda Prabhu is taking Jiva Goswami to all the different places in Navadvip, taking him out on Parikrama, darshan to all these places. I'm not going to read the Bengali just so that we can fit in more reading. So, Jai Jai Śrī Caitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Śrīvāsa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Śrī Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Śrī Advaita Acharya Prabhu. All glories to Srivas and the other devotees of Śrī Gaur. All glories to Gaur Bhumi, the essence of all other holy places. Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu descended here together with the holy name of Śrī Hari. Śrī Nityananda Prabhu said, "Everyone listen. This is Panchaveni, where 5 rivers join with the Ganga. The Bhagirathi, the Ganga, converges here with the Mandakini and Alakananda. River Saraswati flows here in a concealed way. The Yamuna comes from the western side together with Bhogavati, and with them is Manasa Ganga, flowing with a strong current. The sages call this place Mahaprayag, because here they performed millions upon millions of sacrifices together with Lord Brahma. The glory of this place, known as Brahmastra, is incomparable. By taking bath here, one will never have to take birth again. Who can describe the glory of this place? All the other holy places are like dried up rivers in comparison. Anyone who leaves his body in the water, on the lands, or in the air of this place will attain Sri Goloka Vrindavan." How do you leave your body in the air? Probably like when you're not on the floor, I guess. Hulia Pahar, Koladweep. Hulia Pahar Boli, Kyata Estan, Gangatire Uchabhumi Parvata Saman. This place on the bank of the Ganga is renowned as Kulia Pahar because it resembles a mountain. And that's actually where I am. I am in Kulia. I'm in Gadādhara. Oops. What happened? Okay. What's the footnote say? Pahara means mountain, yes. Okay. In the scriptures, this place is called Śrī Koladweep. Please hear a narration about this place dating back from Satya Yuga. Okay, so now we're going to hear the story of Vasudeva Vipra, a devotee of Koladev, Lord Varāha. Vasudeva name eka brahmana kumar Varāhadever seva kore bar bar. There was once a Brahmin boy named Vasudeva who always used to serve Śrī Varāhadev. Śrī Varāha Murti Purji kore upasana sarvada Varāhadeve kore prarthana. Prabhu more kripa kori deho darashan safal hok mor nayana jivan. Daily after his worship of the Śrī Varāha deity, Vasudeva would pray to him, "O Prabhu, please be merciful to me. Give me your darshan and thus make my eyes and life successful." E boli kande vipra gara gari jai, Prabhu nahi dekha dile jivana brithai. Praying like this, the Brahmin boy cried and rolled in the dust of that place, thinking, if my Lord does not give me his darshan, my life will go in vain. Prabhu nahi dekha dile jivan brithai. Koto din Śrī Varāha anukampa kori, dekho dila Vasudeve kola rupa dhori. After some days, Śrī Varāhadev mercifully revealed himself to Vasudeva in his form of Koladev. Koladev, that means his form as a boar. Description of Śrī Koladev's form. Nana ratna bhushane bhushita kalevar, padagriva nasa mukha chakshu manohar. Śrī Varāhadev's divine form was decorated with many jewel-studded ornaments. His lotus feet, neck, nose, face, eyes, and all other bodily parts were enchanting to the mind. Parvata samana ucha sharir tahar, dekhi vipra nij dhanya mane bar bar. His divine body was as tall as a mountain. Upon seeing the Lord, the Vipra considered himself greatly fortunate. Bhume pori vipra pranamiya prabhu pai, kandiya akula hoilo gara gari jai. The Brahmin boy fell to the ground. Restless, he rolled in the dust of Śrī Koladev's lotus feet and began to cry. Viprer bhakati deki Varāha tokhon, kohilen Vasudeve madhur vachan. O he Vasudeva tumi bhakata amar, boro tushta hoino puja paya tomar. Seeing the devotion of the Brahmin boy, Śrī Varāhadev spoke the following sweet words. He said, "O Vasudeva, you are my devotee. I am very satisfied with your worship. E Navadvīpe mor prakata vihar, kali agamane habe shuno bhakyasar." At the beginning of Kali Yuga, I will display my pastimes here in Sri Navadvip. Listen carefully to my words. Navadvīpa-dhāma nahi tribhuvane, ati priya dhama mor ache sangopane. There is no place in the three worlds equal to Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. Even though this place is very dear to me, it now remains hidden. Brahmavarta saha ache punya tirtha jata, sheshab achaye hita shastrer sammata. It is also the verdict of all scriptures that Brahmavarta and other holy places are present here. The place where Hiranyaksha was killed. Jaistane Brahmar jagye prakasha hoya, Nashilam Hiranyaksha dante vidariya, Shaisthana punya bhumi e sthane roy, Jathai amar ebe hoilo udoy. When I appeared in Brahma's sacrifice, I killed Hiranyaksha by tearing his body with my tusk. I have now appeared before you at that place in this same pious land. Navadvipa sevi sarva tirtha virajai. Navadvipa vase sarva tirtha vasa hoy. Wow, that's so neat. I right now am in the place where Varāha teared Hiranyaksha's body with his tusk. So now I have appeared before you at that place in this same pious land. All the holy places are present here to serve Śrī Navadvīpa. By residing in Śrī Navadvīpa, one resides in all other holy places. Dhanya tumi Navadvipe sevile amai, Śrī Gora prakata kale janmi behetai. You are fortunate because you have served me here in Navadvīpa. You will also take birth here at the time of Śrī Gaurahari's manifest pastimes. Anayasi dekhibe she mahasankirtan, apurva goranga rup pabe darashan. You'll easily behold Mahasankirtan, as well as Śrī Gauranga Mahaprabhu's unprecedented form. Etavoli Śrī Varāha hoilo antardhyan, daivavani hoilo vipre bhujite sandhan. Saying this, Śrī Varāhadeva disappeared from there. Just then, the Vipra heard an aerial voice saying, "Please scrutinize scriptural evidences to properly understand the true nature of Śrīman Mahāprabhu." Parama Pandita Vasudeva Mahashai, Sarva Shastra Vichariya Janilo Nishchoy, Vaivasvata Manvantare Kalir Sandhyai, Śrī Gauranga Prabhu Lila Habe Nadiyai. Vasudeva was a great scholar. Therefore, after carefully contemplating what was written in the scriptures, he concluded that at the beginning of Kali Yuga, during the reign of Vaivasvata Manu, Śrī Gauranga Mahaprabhu would manifest his pastimes in Śrī Navadvīpa. Rishigan she tattva rakhilo gopane, ingite kohilo sha bhuje bigya jane. He thought, in the scriptures, the sages have indicated this tattva in a hidden way. Only an intelligent person can understand this tattva. Prakata hoile lila, hoibe prakash, ebe gopya e tattva pailo abhas. One second, I'm just going to read this part and then I'll get to the comments. When Śrīman Mahaprabhu's pastimes manifest, this tattva will also be revealed. For now, however, it should be kept a secret. In this way, the Brahmin boy got a hint of that secret truth. Parama anande vipra kore sankirtan, gaur nama gai mane mane sarvakhan. In great ecstasy, the Brahmin began Sankirtan and continuously sang the name of Śrī Gaurahari in his mind. And then Satya Mataji is asking if I can say something about the temple there with Śrī Varāha on the altar. Well, I don't have much to say on that, just that this is what we're reading about right now, Koladvip. That is where my Gurudev Śrī Keshavji Gaudiya Math is, and also Devananda Gaudiya Math. This is all in Koladvip, the place of Varāhadeva. And so that's why my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he established Koladeva on the altar there. And also my Gurudev, he established Koladeva on the altar there. But that's all I have to say on that. Maybe today I would love, okay, I'm going to try to do that. Today I'll go to Keshavji Gaudiya Math. Maybe I can also go to Devananda Gaudiya Math and I'll take pictures of Koladev there so that you could all see today's darshan there. That would be good for me to do that. So, okay, so the reason for the name Koladvip. Parvata pramana kola dever sharir, dekhi vasudeva mane vicharilo dhir, Koladvipa parvatakya e sthana hoy, she hoite parvatakya hoilo parichoy. When he beheld the mountain-like divine form of Koladev, The intelligent Vasudeva thought, surely this place is the mountain-like Koladvip, as described in the scriptures. From that time, everyone began to call this place Koladvip Parvat. Koladvip is Vraja's Giriraj Govardhan, who fulfills all desires. Ohi Jeev Nitya Lila Moy Vrindavane, Giri Govardhan e jane bhakta jane. Śrī Nityananda Prabhu said, O Jiva, the devotees know this place as Giriraj Govardhan in Sri Vrindavan, the place of eternal transcendental pastimes. So I'm also in Govardhan. Shri Bahulavana, sorry, whoops, I almost read the English like a verse. Okay, Shri Bahulavana dekho ihar uttare ruper chatai sarva dik shobha kore. Please take darshan of Shri Bahulavan, situated to the north of this place. Just see the splendor of Bahulavan shines in all directions. So Koladvip, the main area is Shri Govardhan, and then north of Koladvip is Bahulavan. All right, so that's all from that we're reading from Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma Māhātmya. Then I wanted to read this from, let's see, this is from Sri Vrajamala Parikrama book by my Srila Gurudev. This is in Mathura. There are the two temples of Varāhadeva. So in Mathura, behind the present Dwarkadish temple in Manika Choka, there are two temples of Lord Varāha. One of them has a black deity of Varāha, that's Krishna Varāha or Adi Varāha, and the other has a white deity of Varāha, Shveta Varāha. During the period of Swayambhuva Manu in Brahma Kalpa, Krishna Varāha manifested from the nostril of Brahma in a four-legged boar form. He kept the earth on his tusk and brought her up from Rasatal, the nether region. During the reign of Chakrusha Manu, Shveta Varāha manifested from the ocean. His face was like that of a boar, and the lower portion of his body was human-like. Okay, so the Varāha that came during the period of Swayambhuva Manu was just a full body of a boar. And I guess that's the red one, right? Even though the Vigraha is, right? I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. And then during the reign of Chakrusha, I'm just guessing. Then during the reign of Chakrusha Manu, Shveta Varāha manifested from the ocean. His face was like that of a boar, and the lower portion of his body was human-like. He is also called Nri Varāha, Nri meaning human. He killed Hiranyaksha and delivered the earth. Okay, so the Varāha that killed Hiranyaksha, he had a human-like body with just the face of a head of a boar. That's interesting. At the beginning of Satya Yuga, there was a Brahmin sage named Kapila, who was a worshipper of Bhagavan Adi Varāha. Indra, the king of the demigods, pleased that Brahmin and then brought the deity of Varāha to the heavenly planets, where he installed him for worship. Having defeated Indra, the mighty Ravan seized that Varāha deity from Swarga and established him in Lanka. After killing the impersonalist Ravan, Sri Ramachandra brought that same deity to Ayodhya and installed Varāhadeva in the palace. When Mahārāja Shatrughna was leaving Ayodhya to kill Lavanasura, he asked his elder brother Sri Ramachandra for the deity. Mahārāja Shatrughna carried the deity with him and, after killing Lavanasura, established him in the city of Mathura, where one can take darshan of him even today. Very interesting. Okay, so now, how much time do we have? We have 20 minutes. Okay, there's a very short class by Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj on VC Vani, Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani website, vcvani.com. Let's go. Actually, I'm going to open up a new window so I can see the comments. Control new. There. Okay, vcvani.com. Okay, Varāha Dvādaśī. Oh, there's also a Dash Avatar book by Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, isn't there? Anyways, I don't have the file for that book. But... Okay, so I'm going to put this on a Word doc. Oops. New document. Okay. Oops. Okay, and Bhavatarani Mataji is saying that she has a song, but we can play it from Bandcamp, Krishna songs. Bhavatarani. It's called Haribol Varāha. Okay, we can check it out afterwards. Okay. Let me change the font color and make the size a bit bigger. Let's make this dark so you can all see. There. Okay. February 21st, 2024 is Varāha Dvādaśī in Vrindavan, India. The following is an excerpt of a Bhav Anuvad of the kathā given by Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj on the same tithi on February 8th, 2017. Today is a very auspicious day, the appearance day of Varāhadeva. Within the prayers of the elephant Gajendra in the Srimad Bhagavatam 8.3.8, it is mentioned, Na nama rupe gunadosha eva va. The Supreme Lord has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults. There are no material qualities or faults in the name and form of the Lord. Bhagavan is nirgun, meaning he is transcendental to or untouched by the three modes of material nature. Does anyone ordinarily worship a boar of this world? Is a boar auspicious? Yet when the Supreme Lord assumes the form of a boar, that form becomes worshipable, because whatever the Supreme Lord does is all auspicious and all beautiful. Hence, nama rupe guna dosha eva va. When Hiranyaksha assaulted the defenseless Mother Earth, submerging her deep into the waters of the Garbhodaka ocean, Lord Varāha killed him and lifted her by his tusks. Can we imagine the strength of his tusks? The Lord is said to be Sad Aishvarya Purna, one who is full in the six opulences. It should be Shad. Anyways, Shad Aishvarya Purna, one who is full in the six opulences, one who possesses all majesty or wealth, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. How is he the possessor of all wealth? Bhagavan's abode is composed of chintamani's, wish-fulfilling jewels. In fact, every particle of dust in his abode is a chintamani. Additionally, he possesses millions of kamadhenus, the sacred cow which grants all wishes and desires. What to speak of his strength? Despite possessing I don't even know that word, gargantuan, anyways, ginormous body, 18 kilometers in length. Putana could not, what is it?
Gargantuan.
Oh, gargantuan.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a new word for me. Gargantuan body, 18 kilometers in length. Putana could not escape the grip of Krishna's tiny hands as he sucked her breast. What miraculous strength his lips and hands possessed, even as a 6-day-old infant. Oh, there's the Adi Varaha or Krishna Varaha that we read about in the Vrajmana Parikrama book. Wow, beautiful. Ginormous eyes. Okay. Years ago in Puri, I recall how one stuntman pulled a bus full of pilgrims by his teeth. Oh my God. The Grand Road where the Rath Yatra takes place was jam-packed as throngs of people purchased tickets and gathered to watch this feat. Completely awestruck, they remarked, "How amazing! What an exhibition of strength!" In this world, if a considerably insignificant act, such as pulling a bus by the teeth, is considered laudable and attractive, Then what to speak of lifting the entire planet Earth on tusks, or lifting Govardhan Hill on the tip of the pinky finger on the left hand? How much more powerful and glorious is the Lord? Okay, now there's darshan of Shweta Varaha in Mathura. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 10:36, I am the strength of the strong. Therefore, whenever even a fraction of his power is manifested through someone in this world, everyone simply becomes spellbound. Each and every limb of the Lord's body is all powerful, and the Lord can accomplish any activity with any of his limbs. He can eat with his eyes, impregnate by his mere glance, and so on. The Lord can assume any form according to time, place, and circumstances. Whatever he does is eternally auspicious and for the eternal well-being of his devotees. Likewise, today, the Supreme Lord himself assumes the form of Varāha to liberate the earth planet. Thus, whatever form the Lord may assume, be it a tortoise, a boar, or a fish, his embodiment is all auspicious. There is not a trace of inauspiciousness in him. Bhagavan is addressed as Bhagavan Bhakta Bhaktiman, he who is devoted to his own devotees. And the devotee too is always engaged in the service of the Lord. Bhakti, or devotional service, means to engage all our senses in the service of the Lord, who is the master of all the senses. Rishikesh. Jai Shri Varāhadeva ki Jai. So beautiful. Adi Varāha and Shweta Varāha. That looks like a mountain. It's interesting. Okay, so now going to, how much more time do we have? We have 10 minutes. Okay, so let's just see on purebhakti.com. Let's see what Prabhu posted anything there. I went there yesterday and there was nothing there. Let's see if he added something by now. Otherwise, we can end early. I mean, there's also the pastime of Mahāprabhu manifesting as Varāhadeva to Murari Gupta, which we read about, right? But, no, it doesn't look like there's anything. This just, I think for many people in the West right now, Akadashi is on Varāha Dvādaśī, like the titis are combined. And so many people are having to observe on the day of Varāha Dvādaśī, they have to follow Akadashi as well. And then the day after that is Nityananda Trayodashi. So then what do you do in such a circumstance? I looked at this and this is not what, this doesn't seem right to me, what's here. But anyhow, see, look, it says, in countries or cities where Akadashi fasting is observed on Dvadashi Titi, on Varāha Dvādaśī, then it says that one should honor, the best thing to do is follow Nirjal. And then the day after, so follow Nirjal on Varāha Dvādaśī and Akadashi. And then the next day on Nityananda Trayodashi, you can break your fast with some Charnamrita and then follow Akadashi on Nityananda Trayodashi, like regular. But if you cannot do a full dry fast on, do Nirjal on Varāha Dvādaśī and Akadashi, then what it says on Pure Bhakti says that beg Nityananda for forgiveness and then take grains, and then for the rest of the day, just eat like regular prasad. But I've asked a senior devotee who's in charge of the calendar, and there's one devotee I go to for all my vrat questions and anything to do with TTs and all that. He's like the authority I accept because my Guru put him in charge of that. And he said that if one's not able to do Nirjal on Varāha Dvādaśī and Akadashi, then one should, Nityananda is all merciful and he'll forgive anything, but beg Nityananda for mercy that you weren't able to follow Nirjal the previous day. And then after begging forgiveness, take one little grain, if there's Jagannath Mahaprasad, one little grain of rice, and then to honor Nityananda, the rest of the day you can still observe Akadashi. But you have to break the fast. So take a little grain, but then for the rest of the day, continue fasting, like continue doing Ekadashi fasting. That's the proper thing to do. Because on Vishnu Tattva days, we're not fasting. It's not like Ekadashi where all the sins go into the grains and you can't take any grains. But on Vishnu Tattva days, it's more just we're fasting to honor them. And so it's like if you just take a tiny bit of rice and then you continue fasting to honor him, it's, that's okay. But in the purebhakti.com calendar, it just says just to take regular prasad throughout the whole day. Anyways. Okay. So there isn't anything on pure bhakti. And I know what we can do. We should sing the Dash Avatar Stotram. And then afterwards, then we can listen to the song that Bhavatarani Mataji wrote. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because we don't have time to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, I don't think. That would take a long time. So, okay. Big texts. Gaudiya Giti Gucha. Pralaya Payo Dijale Dritavam Asiveda. Pralaya. Okay. What am I doing? I'm gonna turn on music for original sounds for musicians so you can hear the mridanga. There. Okay. Oops, I didn't notice there's a ton of comments on. Sorry, I missed all the different comments on YouTube and Facebook. Neil Varāha is also mentioned in the Bhagavatam. I get confused, Vidyalala Saditi saying this. I get confused between these three colors, red, blue, black, and white. Do you know what's the difference between all the three forms of Lord Varāha? Vangshiwala Prabhu says, Gargantuan Śrī Varāhadeva ki jai. Then Rukmini says, those Varāha deities in Mathura are so adorable. Yeah, aren't they? Massive eyes. I love the eyes especially. Then Rukmini Didi says that she read that one is supposed to do an arti to Lord Nityananda on Nityananda Trayodashi and then break one's fast with a morsel of rice or Jagannath Mahaprasad, and then one can do Anukalpa after. Yes, that's what I heard as well. When Varāha Dvādaśī was on Ekadashi, Gurudev would fast. Then the next day he would take a grain of rice and continue to fast on his Nityananda. Yeah, so I don't know why it's saying on Pure Bhakti to eat grains the rest of the day. That's just weird. Okay. Pralaya Payo. This is Śrī Dashavatar Stotram by Śrī Jayadev Gosvāmī. Pralaya Payo Dijale Dritavana Sivedam Vihita Vahitra Charitramakedam Keshavadrita Mina Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shetiri Havipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishte Dharani Dharana Kina Chakra Garishte Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadrita Shukararupa Keshavadrita Shukararupa Keshavadrita Varāharupa Keshavadrita Varāharupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamala Varena Kamarbhuta Shringa Talita Hiranya Kashiputano Vrenga Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Arbhutavaman Padanakhani Rajanita Janapavan Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Kshatriya Rudhira Maye Jagarapagata Papa Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Vitarasi Dekshurane Dekpati Kamaniya Dashamukhamoli Balingramaniyam Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Vahasiva Pushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladava Halahati Bhiti Milita Yamunabham Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Nindasiya Gyavider Ahaha Shruti Jata Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashughata Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Lecha Nivahani Dane Kalayasi Karavala Dhumaketu Vakemapi Karala Keshavadrita Kalki Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shri Jayadeva Kaveridam Uditam Udaram Shrinu Shubhadam Shukadam Pavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidarupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. I've never sung this before. Let's try this. What's the meter though? Okay. Vedanudharate jaganti vahate bhugolam urvibhrate. No. Daityan darayate balim chalayate kshatrakshayam kurvate polastyam jayate halam kalayate karunyamattanvate amlechan murchayate dashakriti krite krishnaya tubhyam namah. Okay, so when Krishnadas Prabhu sings this, he always goes back to the top. He goes, Keshavadrita Mina Sharira, Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira, Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa, Keshavadrita Varāha Rupa, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa, Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa, Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa, Keshavadrita Rama Sharira, Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa, Keshavadrita Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira, Keshavadrita Kalki Sharira, Keshavadrita Dashavita Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Varāhadeva, Jaya Varāhadeva, Varāhadeva, Jaya Varāhadeva, Hare Krishna, Jaya Dasha Avatar, Jaya Dasha Avatar, Dasha Avatar, Jaya Dasha Avatar, Jaya Dasha Avatari, Jaya Krishna Chandra, Dasha Avatari, Jaya Krishna Chandra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh, and I'm just looking at the comments here. Rukumini Didi saying in Hari Bhakti Vilas it says Archanante, Paran. One can break one's fast after doing worship. Well, in the Bengali, I'm not sure what it says in the English one, but in the Bengali here, in this Bengali Panjika, it says for all the different appearance days of like the different forms of Vishnu Tattva days, I mean, it says that. It says, let me just find it. What day is it today? It's 21 February. It says Archan Pure. Then we do Paran. Yeah, so even like, we should break our fast after doing Archan. Yeah, definitely. Yes, for all the days it says that. But that's cool to know that's actually from Hari Bhakti Vilas. It says that. Interesting. Okay. But you still do Archan, Kishore, you still do Archan in the morning of Nityananda Prabhu. You do Archan in the morning of Varāhadeva. Like when the Pujari does Archan first thing in the day, right? So, you can still... Like you do have to take the grain of rice. You do have to break your fast before the Paran time is over. But before that Paran time is over, you should have already done Archan of Nityananda Prabhu, like that. Okay, so I'm going to do Jai Dvani, and then after I do Jai Dvani, then we can play the song from Bhavatarani Mataji's song. From Bandcamp. I'll look for it while I'm doing Jai Dvani. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti... Sorry, I spaced out for a second. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Bhagavat Srila Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Shri Varāhadeva ki jai. Shri Lakshmi Varāha ki jai. Shri where is it? Adi Varāha, Krishna Varāha ki jai. Shri Shweta Varāha ki jai. Jai Shri Varāha Dvādaśī Titi ki jai. Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Shri Koladev ki jai. Shri Koladvīpa ki jai. Shri Vasudeva Vipra ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. One thing with Varāhadeva, also just speaking of like Archan of Varāhadeva, in the Bengali Archan Dipika by Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, there's a section at the end for the Archan of the different Vishnu Tattva days throughout the year. And it gives the Dhyan mantra, the Pranam mantra, all the Mool mantra. Like, you know, when you do Archan, you say the article that you're giving, and then you say the Mool mantra. And it also gives the Gayatri mantra. And it's just like the whole procedure for doing Archan of all these days. So we included that on purebhakti.com. If you go to purebhakti.com and you go to resources, there's a section that says Archan. And in that Archan section, you'll see how to do the Archan of all of Varāhadeva and of Vamandev and like that and so on. Maybe there's something for Nityananda also, I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, you can find that all there. All right, I'm going to, thank you so much for joining, everybody. Bhavatarani Mataji, Krishnamai Didi, Champak Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, and so many devotees on YouTube, Vrinda Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Vidyalalasa Didi, Rasapriya Didi, Rukmini Didi, and who else? Vidyalalasa Didi, Ganga Mataji, Vangshiwala Prabhu, so many devotees, Kishore Prabhu. Wow, a lot of people today. If anybody wants to stay, then I'm going to play this song that Bhavatarani Mataji, she song that she made here. Let's see, it's on Bandcamp. Let's see. Let me know if you can all hear this. Nice. Is it clear?
Haribol!
Haribol, thank you so much for that, Bhavatarani Mataji. Wow, that's a very lively song. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Oh, tomorrow, Nityananda Trayodashi. Big day tomorrow. I don't have anything planned for that, but I'll try to think of something, what we'll do for that day. Maybe we can read some beautiful things by Śrīla Bhakti Rakshita Goswami Maharaj. Okay, all the devotees now are waiting for me at Prasad. So, wait, were you going to say something, Bhavatarani Mataji? Your mic is muted.
Unmuted.
Okay, now
Oh, it's unmuted. I was just, oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say that was recorded. Can you hear me now? Oh, that's okay. Oh, okay. I just wanted to say that was recorded. That was recorded a long time ago, and Kishore Mohan singing on it, and
Oh, wow.
in Gurukula and his brother, and I can't remember all the different people that are on it. And Gadādhara was in the chorus.
Wow, it's so neat.
Yeah,
That's so nice.
yeah. But Hari and I would have liked to play it, but we don't know how to get the sound to work. So with the guitars.
We'll have to figure that out. Next time when we're together in Vrindavan, then we can work that all out. We can figure out how to do all that.
All right.
terrific.
Haribol, Nuri Haribol. Dandavad Pranam. Right, see you all tomorrow for Nityananda Trayodashi. Haribol, everybody.
Yeah.
Dandavad.